So, Ben, you shot that, but you also do loads of other stuff. Brief nutshell?
Sort of come from a background of filmmaking, attempting to be involved in commissioned work. Went through many projects being stolen by the Channel 4 and BBC and all that lot when I presented my projects. So I discovered that I went to BritDoc and started talking to the online distributors and decided that I had to own equity in all the films that I make. So last year I made 2 or 3 films which are basically distributed through a website with PayPal. And you send out little clips on email to hundreds of, one film is about traveling across America looking for God, trying to find God in America.
That's a tricky one then.
It is a tricky one, but what we found was by sending a little clips through to Christian discussion groups in America and British discussion groups, and then inviting them to buy the DVD off our website via PayPal, that we get much more than selling it to TV networks. And we spent about £100,000 on making the movie, and we got €8,000 by selling it through a distributor to about 6 countries. You get about €2,000 when you sell an hour-long program to. So that wasn't any good. So now we are getting much better results through sending people clips over an email, which doesn't cost anything, and then inviting them to log on to our website and buy one, and then we sit at home packaging them up and sending them out. That's the only way you can actually get money.
Okay, so...
But One Giant Leap was financed by offering one of our enemies, Simon Fuller at 19 Entertainment, who ripped off the Spice Girls by selling loads of cups with their images on it and loads of paraphernalia, and then they sacked him. And a few years later, Jamie met up with him and he said, no one wants to talk to me about X Factor when they come round for dinner. No, everybody hates me for doing that because they see me as ripping off the public. So I want to finance something that's going to make me look good. And we deliberated for months over whether we were going to let him put £1 million into this new project. And in the end, we decided we had to give him an opportunity to change his mind and do something valuable for his life. And so he financed it, and he put £1.4 million into the project and then dropped it, dumped it, didn't do any publicity. So now we go around film festivals and we go around everywhere we can and we give it away. And what happens is that you give a DVD away and people show it to their friends, and then some people want to own it, so they want the proper package, so they then log on the website and buy it. So we're giving it away as much as possible. I haven't got any to give away today, but if you give me your card, I'll send you one.
Ooh, more freebies, more freebies. Okay, so loads of ideas there, but one thread that keeps coming through is the internet. Because, I don't know, when I came into Undercurrents 10, 11 years ago... Oh.
You're not that old.
Thank you, sweetie. The internet wasn't up and running in terms of this distribution, and so I've watched this grow and I've watched it come alive. And I remember there's a classic Undercurrent story where the internet was supposed to be the way of getting this action out, and there was a convergence on London for June 18th, and there were loads of video activists brought in to bring this programme together, and it all went out on the internet, and we discovered after that a whole load of like 20 people had been able to log on to this site before it crashed. So that didn't work very well at that stage, but obviously it's working much better now. So maybe we can come back to Richard a little bit and talk about the Vision on TV project and how that's using the internet.
Anyone who's watched films on the web, and obviously everyone's been on YouTube at least, will know that's one of the standard ways of doing it, by streaming. and watching it in a little window on your computer in very poor quality. But there's other ways as well. I mean, you can actually download really high-spec copies now of every Vision on TV film. And it's very important that our project has this offline aspect as well, where it's not just on the computer. So you can download it and screen it, on a big screen like this. I wanted to pick up on the funding aspect, on the monetizing aspect, because it's very interesting to hear Ben's experience of that and Justyn's. I mean, there are other things as well which are working on the internet. For instance, you could do a show. A notable example would be this American show Rocket Boom, if anyone's seen that. But it comes out every day, every weekday. It's about 3 minutes long, so it's 15 minutes of production a week, and it's just a simple studio show with a newsreader, and with sort of wacky stories. But it's quite intelligent, and it has 300,000-400,000 views for each episode, which means that they can get advertising. Another way and Vision on TV will have ethical advertising itself, and then we stream to between 10 and 40 different corporate sites, and they then put their own advertising on, which we don't have any control over, and so forth. So it's not as if the internet is necessarily free distribution. Once you get the viewing figures up, then you can start turning that into some income. And that can be enough. In the case of Rocket Boom, they've opened a studio and they've got a serious number of employees now. And the other thing, apart from advertising, is sponsorship. And actually, Paul from Undercurrents here has managed to get sponsorship for a show, and that was ethical advertiser, NoFlights.com, who sponsored a film about cycling to Australia, as opposed to taking a plane.
Which is showing at the end of the next session.
Marvellous. I'm glad I flagged that up. Yes, so there are ways of monetising.
Interesting. So we've got selling your videos, DVDs online. We've got streaming your videos online and getting advertisers to come on board, and also sponsors for online programs. But those are sort of regular things that are going out. Mandy, do you use the internet at all?
Unfortunately, a lot of the people we work with, these young people, come from areas, socially deprived areas, and I'd say 90% of the young people we work with don't have access to the internet unless it's via school or some sort of clubs, which then have got filters on that they can't download or look at YouTube or anything like that. So we do use internet, but not as much as getting out there in that community. And really, it's schools is the big one with us. We'll go through the schools or the youth clubs, the probation, the youth service, anyone like that really that can get to that group of people.
Okay, so you're using schools as well to distribute films and education. Are they using internet or?
Well, they're using the Teachers TV platform, for example, and other platforms. I don't personally use the online to distribute at all at the moment, but I mean, very keen when it does happen. And but it's I didn't realise that maybe the resolution and the quality was there, and I think really I'll be very interested once that you can send programs, you can download programs very quickly and at a higher enough resolution that broadcasters around the world want them. I mean, the ethos of Small World is from my very beginning, even when Undercurrents and Small World 2 were together, was to work with as much as possible through the broadcast media, and not outside the broadcast media, because I wanted to move as many people, maybe not as far, but maybe if I moved a lot of people an inch, rather than work from the outside, move a lot of people a long way. So that's different ethos, I guess, to how Undercurrents was.
Okay, so just to recap on that, Undercurrents and Small World started off as the same thing, and then there was a parting of the ways, if you like. There have been many partings of the ways along Undercurrents' history, and there are lots of independents or little groups of people that have sparked off from people who've trained through Undercurrents, and I dare say there's a few of them hanging around here today.
Yeah, I would love to send programs to obviously to Richard and to Rocket Boom, who I've never heard of.
Yeah, but what you're saying is at that time, in the beginning, way back in the day, the
Yes.
broadcast was the way, mainstream broadcast was the way to reach a lot of people. Are we reaching as many people now through the internet?
Well, local surveys are that children between 13 and 25 are not watching TV at all. They come home from school and sort of log on or even at school. I mean, I just made a film in Romania where they had 5 computers in the classroom, and we were working from 7 to 11-year-olds, and they were coming back to school after going home for their tea. They were coming back to school and hanging around all evening and watching YouTube and watching and downloading small films, and they're getting very, very used to watching a very small screen and all crowding around and watching it. It's the excitement of seeing something you wouldn't see on network TV, because let's face it, network TV has gone down.